let's see. How do you prepare your team for big games?
Games?
Meets, yes. Just like a big meet, like
big
state
meet.
or something.
You know, you can overstimulate an athlete or understimulate it. If you talk too much about it, you can make them too nervous. So it's a fine line, and you have to know your athlete and what they can take in terms of being prepared. So, for instance, we're going to meet a champions in a week, and we had 6 athletes, 6 distance runners make it. So I'll talk to them about it, not necessarily what to do, but what to expect, such as you got to check in at a certain time. This is where the check-in's going to be. Be prepared to run on time. If you don't check in, you'll be scratched, you won't run. So I'll prepare them for the meet itself. And then what I usually do is, and I already did it today, I look at all the entries to see who they will be running against. So I can kind of know what kind of talent is in their heat, and it's important that they know who's in there so they know who they're racing against. Some people do really well with that sort of information because they like to know who their competitors are. Some people that's just too much information for them, and they don't do well with knowing that because it just really psychs them out. But some people like to know.
Makes sense.
So just preparing them what to expect, that's all. All you can do, not hype it up too much.
Makes sense. All right. What do you need to have a championship team what do you need to have a championship caliber team?
Let me show you now.
Were you on the team only one section?
No, that was 2 years before me, I think.
Okay. When I took the job as head coach, my goal, so I had a goal when I took the position one, was to be the league champion every year with the boys and with the girls. So with the boys, the girls, I think we were 3 years out of the 4.
Wow.
And then my other goal was, before I stepped down, I wanted to be a section champion. I wanted to be section champion. And I knew my first year coming in, I recruited so heavily and tried to bring all the events up to par. So I would put people in certain events to try them even if they didn't want to. So I'm like, you're built like a hurdler, you're going to try hurdles. So I shoved them over there. You're going to do jumping. And so it was kind of like building this team that would do well in 3 or 4 years. And with the goal of being section champs. And so we were. But it took athletes. It took not just like a few athletes, but it took a whole bunch of athletes to win their event or get in the top 3 in the sprints, distance, throws, and all jumps and pole vault. It took everything, not just a few people, to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to win a championship. And you have to be a little deep. So if you've got 2 people that are jumping, great, you got a first and a third. So you have to put people into events, even if they don't want to do it, if you're trying to get a section champion, but doesn't compromise them going to state, but they know they're going to score points. And it's a fine line. But it can be done, but you got to really prepare a team for that. You can't just say, we're going to sections, we're going to try to win it. No, it doesn't. It starts a couple of years before.
Yeah.
And so that's what I prepared for.
Makes
and that
sense.
was so much fun. That was amazing. I knew I was done when we won that. That was great.
That's good.
Yeah,
okay.
Fun.
Just a couple more. What type of end of the season banquet do you hold?
We hold potluck.
Yep.
Theme style. Last couple of years, I think it's been Mexican food.
Yeah.
Is Mitchell trying to get motivation from me or something? Or what
Well, he's doing a project for school.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to give the awards away.
Yep.
Kind of acknowledge everyone, acknowledge the parents for helping out. But you try to do it in a manner that people don't get so bored because it's 2 hours. So short and sweet.
Makes sense. All right. Let's see, where were we? Certain personalities complement certain sports or positions. Do you notice common personalities or character traits among your athletes?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So for the first 10 years, I coached the jumps here. Jumpers are mostly sprinters.
Makes sense.
Okay. So that group is a little bit different than the group I coach now, the distance runners. Sprinters, I mean, when I would make them a team dinner, they were all for the hamburgers and the hot dogs and anything goes, steak and everything. Distance runners, they're a little bit more health conscious. Some of them, except Spencer. You know, so I'm cooking for different group of people. Personality-wise, I think. Sprinters, well, you have to be explosive, so I don't want to say their personalities are explosive, but they're, gosh, how do I say it? That's a hard one. I don't want to say that they're not as academically inclined as distance runners, because the distance runners, they're like overachievers.
They're always motivated.
They're
it seems
always
like.
motivated, not just in like their events, but in the classroom. They're like AP students, honor students. You know, if they don't get an A in the class, it's like the end of the world, you know. Whereas maybe the jump sprinters, at least I mean, I have had honor students in the jumps, no doubt about it. But they're maybe a little bit more well-rounded, let's say.
Yeah.
They'll try a bunch of different things. They may do 3 different sports, whereas a distance runner, all they do is run all year round. So they may be football players, basketball players, volleyball players that are jumpers. They may also they have more of an eclectic sort of friend. So their friends vary in different groups. So distance people tend to hang around together. I got the jumper sprinters. Most of them were football players in my past. But once the trust is gained with me or the coach, then they'll do anything. No matter what group that I have, if I can motivate them to be the best that they can be, then they will be. But it's definitely a different group. Like with the jumpers, even though I had my standards, like if you miss practice, there would be like certain people that would always miss and they'd be off the team.
Yeah.
Whereas once I set my standard, they wouldn't miss, the jumpers. But you have to set that protocol. Yeah, I like both groups. And the throwers, I coached throwers for a little bit, but that's where the best food's at. They're happy-go-lucky. That's a great place to be. If you don't want any tension or anything, go hang out with throwers.
Okay.
They have to have fun. They really do.
All right. What was your most memorable coaching experience?
Oh, I've had a lot of it. The two stand out. One winning sections with the big trophy, but I'd have to say the most memorable thus far is when Justin Sutter won Arcadia.
Okay.
By far, the best experience to have someone win at that caliber of a meet without even expecting it. It just all like came together, and it was captured on video, and all the coaches were there. So it wasn't just me. It was Randy. It was Jackie. It was his parents. It was just everyone. It was eclectic, and I don't know if anything can ever match that. I hope so. But so far, since coaching high school, it has to be that.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, I remember that day we showed the video on our bulletin in the morning. I was like, dang. Everyone was like, wow. that was awesome.
Yeah.
Man. All right, describe what takes place during your off-season. Where do you expend most energy during the off-season?
We don't have a lot of off-season because I coach cross-country now. So off-season before track, we start last week of December or January of is building a base. So we meet 3 days a week, hills, tempos, long runs, and then they do it on their own.
Okay.
In between track and the summer, I just want to be away from the track, so I don't even come near this place, so I just need to be away for a while. And then we start up like in June, end of June, a couple days a week. So off season is just time to relax, regroup, coaches and athletes.
Mitchell, is this yours?
Nope. Might be
Randy's. This is mine.
All right, last question. If you could give a new coach one piece of advice, what would it be?
One piece of advice.
Watch out for me. Go away, little plant. Yeah.
I'm thinking. That's an important question.
I'm playing it.
You can throw multiple ones out there if you want.
What?
You can throw multiple answers out there.
Yeah. Is to constantly learn about your sport as a coach. Because what you learned in high school or what you learned in college is not how you coach people. You have to take classes, get certifications. It's just learn as much as you can, absorb as much as you can, use what you want to use for coaching, throw the rest out. When it stops being fun, get out of it. When it stops being fun, because we don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
You do it for all the personal gratification that you're going to get.
Ow! Ow!
How I coach now is not how I coached when I was 18.
No, please. Whack you on.
And how I coach now is how I didn't coach this way when I was in my 20s at all. So
Yeah.
constantly learn, and learn from other people. And don't be afraid to steal things from other coaches. It's not really stealing, it's just borrowing, because it's
horrible.
There's
They still
things
have
I
it.
learned from sprint coaches that I apply. There's things I learned from the throws coach that I apply. So it's just having an open mind.
Gotcha.
That's about it. Longevity, I think, is just making it. I don't know, longevity. That's the.
Longevity.
Yeah, don't get burnt out.
Okay. Perfect.
So,
Thank
yeah.
you very much. All right.
Welcome. I hope that helps.